Hi, today I wanted to talk about one of my favorite types of loan, which is a VA loan, and how there's still a lot of misconceptions out there, a lot of misinformation that could be costing veterans thousands of dollars because they don't utilize their VA loan and instead go with either FHA or conventional financing, and therefore it costs them in terms of either paying mortgage insurance, which VA does not have, or a higher interest rate, which VA typically has a little bit better rate when you're comparing them all. So there's 5 misconceptions that I want to cover today. And the first of those misconceptions is the fact that you can only use your VA once. And again, that is not true. That's a misconception, misinformation. What happens is when you purchase your home and you're using your VA, some of your eligibility is tied up in that home. When you then sell the home, pay off the loan, now all of your eligibility is available to you once again. However, there's also a situation where maybe instead of selling the home, you elect to rent it out. So you decide to rent out the home, you want to buy a new primary home and use your VA again. You can buy using your VA with the unused portion of that eligibility from the first home. You just need to be working with a lender like ourselves that know how to make that happen and do those calculations so we can figure out exactly how much of a home you can buy and or how much of a down payment you might have to have, because you might not be able to do 0 down, but you still can utilize your VA. Number 2, that VA appraisers are more difficult than conventional FHA, etc. Well, the truth is, about 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, they made some adjustments to where all appraisers needed to look at homes, and if there's any health or safety related issues, they need to point those out. An example of that might be some exposed wiring coming out of what used to be a ceiling fan. You would have to cap that off before you close, and that's going to be true regardless of the type of financing that you're utilizing. Number 3, sellers don't like VA loans. Again, this is a big misconception. At the end of the day, all sellers are really concerned with is that you're going to be able to close on time and that there aren't going to be any problems with your financing. So one of the things that we definitely do is after we've met with you, gotten you all pre-approved, and you're now making an offer on a home, we offer to reach out to the listing agent, go over your qualifications, letting them know you've got a very solid buyer trying to purchase your home. We're going to be able to close on time. There aren't going to be any issues, etc. And at the end of the day, that's really what sellers are concerned with is, can you close on time under the terms that were presented? Number 4, you have to have perfect credit. Again, this is a big misconception. In fact, VA is probably the most lenient besides FHA when it comes to not having perfect credit. And in fact, will allow for lower credit scores, for example. So by no means do you have to have perfect credit when it comes to utilizing your VA. And number 5 is that there's only certain types of home that you can purchase with your VA. In other words, you can only buy a single family. That's not true. You can buy condominiums, townhomes, even manufactured homes, as long as they meet VA eligibility requirements. So the fact of the matter is, regardless of the type of house you want to purchase, you can typically use your VA. So as I stated at the beginning of this, these are just some of the misconceptions that are out there, some of the misinformation that occurs and is potentially costing veterans lots of money. So if you personally are a veteran or you know of a veteran and you feel this information would be helpful, please feel free to share it with your friends, families, etc. Feel free to reach out with any additional questions or concerns as well. And if you found this information helpful, please do me a favor, like and subscribe to our page here. We look forward to hearing from you soon. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.